Golf. Golf. Let's face it, not everybody is a Tiger Woods at golf. Ever had an experience where you're standing and being watched by a few people concentrated on the course and with a firm grip holding up your golf club, trying to stand in a sturdy position where your feet is locked onto the ground? You're telling everybody to be quiet as though the sound of their voice will affect the movement of the ball. You're swearing the birdies for chirping, and then you're now ready to make your move. Soccer. Ninth spot in the list of hardest sports to play will definitely be soccer. Playing soccer sincerely takes more than just kicking a ball or scoring through the goal post. There is a lot of skills that must be constantly developed from one person or as a team in order to become a professional soccer player. Running marathons. Running basis you wait for the greatest event of the year, which is marathons. In particular, we're speaking about running marathons, which entails sprinting a kilometer or two, in competition with other runners under weather conditions that are not always the rosiest. It could be scorching hot under the sun, or particularly in the pouring rain, if it's a misjudgment in the weather forecast. Rugby. Thought that soccer is a hard game to play. Rugby, on the other hand, is totally another hard-hitting story which requires a battalion of real men warriors, hard-built. The masculine of hardcore bone-busting strength is required to be only fit for the game. Compatibility is where rugby is more demanding for the game. Tennis. And of mental ability as well as physical, can sometimes be absolutely draining to the body, especially to such an extent where somebody may have heart issues or suffer huge amounts of stress at a time. Tennis is another hard and most difficult sports to play due to being at the highest of your mind's wits in order to smack a ball amongst yourself and your partner against somebody else and their partner. Gymnastics. Can you personally run freely like a ninja character and perform a somersault flip in the air over a raised bar and still land on your feet without touching the raised bar at all? If you're the average guy, the answer would probably be no, and it's completely understandable. Don't beat yourself up. Here it isn't an easy task to do anyway. It's something the average person really isn't supposed to do because not everybody has the backbone to flip and perform stunts of that nature in the air. Canoeing. Hard no matter what size would simply float on the water, but what propels it forward is the main element of its motion. A boat with a motor or two at the back, for an instance, would rocket forward, fast enough to carry you a few meters or further depending on the amount of fuel it has. This is a big deal in a normal boating cases, but not when it's in the form of canoeing as a sport. Paralympics. Anybody can participate in the Olympics. It's not uncommon and no surprise. Can anybody without a few essential human needed limbs such as hands, legs, etc. perform a sport of swimming, etc.? The answer to this question is definitely a yes. But with an absolute amount of hardship in order to pull it off, which is why my respect for people in Paralympics goes to some far extreme levels. MMA cage fighting, freestyle MMA cage fighting, the hardest sports to play. MMA cage fighting is regulated and under strict rules and conditions with penalties if it isn't done properly in the ring by participants and opponents. Fighters are allowed to do virtually any move to get an opponent down as long as those set of moves are within the respected boundaries of the rule sets that regulate the sport while in commencement. Formula 1 car racing. To play. Ranked number 1 amongst the hardest sports to play, simply due to how much of concentration, flexibility, physical endurance, and tolerance of discomfort for long hours, mental stability and sharpness, years of experience needed to play, the amount of skill one has to develop as a standard and as a compulsory step in order to be a performer in this sport without killing others or getting killed themselves.